We have here with us the Nissan Patrol. Let's do a review.
The Y62 Nissan Patrol is on its way out, with the all-new Y63 generation coming to the Philippines in just a few weeks. At more than a decade old, how does it hold up? We review it to find out.
And as you know, and just like I mentioned, the Nissan Patrol, this current generation is already quite old, or well, outgoing generation, like I just mentioned. Anyway, so it doesn't look that way thanks to the recent facelift. Maybe a few years ago, around 2 years ago, they gave this a facelift, which gave it this bolder front fascia. It's very modern. It doesn't look old at all, especially with the V motion front grille. Very big, very in your face, very bold right there with horizontal lines, chrome, and the current Nissan logo right in the middle. And also, we have these very modern headlights here with the C-shaped DRL and our dual projectors over there, very bright at night as well. Down there we have some fog lights and this very nice front bumper here, which looks very sporty. So I really like how this looks until now. It's still very, very fresh. And over at the side, this looks basically the same as what we first saw way back in, like, I don't know, 2006, 2007, more than 10 years ago. But still, it looks very fresh as well. So first, we have these really big 20-inch alloy wheels. They're wrapped in Bridgestone tires, just highway terrain tires, but that's fine. In fact, they're very wide, so 275, 60, 20s. Very nice, very elegant. And we also have this garnish over here. This is still the same as what we had from way back, but still looks very good. The V8 badge to tell everyone that you have a big engine. We also have the huge side mirror over there, power folding, of course. And yeah, it's just very, very big here, very slab-sided, I guess, if we can say that. Very smooth lines, no fancy body lines over there. Also, just to mention, this particular unit is equipped with this sun visor or rain visor accessory and also some crossbars up there. And yeah, that's pretty much here on the side. Let's check out the back. And at the back, you can see that, well, the taillight's still the same shape as from over 10 years ago as well, but it gets that C-shaped design as well, just like what we saw from the last facelift a few years ago. And still, it looks very fresh. In fact, it looks a bit more modern over here. And honestly, they really didn't need to make a new generation when it comes to design because it still looks so fresh. Anyway, what we have else back here, so it's full LED, by the way. Sequential turn signals. We have some parking sensors, the sporty bumper as well down there with our tow hook here, typical with this segment. And also power tailgate, so let's open that up. And it's kind of slow, but press it again and it suddenly goes fast. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it right now, but we do have a very good amount of space with the third row seats up, and we have some stuff here, so we can actually fit here, I think, like maybe 1, 2, 3 small pieces of luggage and maybe even one large piece despite the third row. And to fold the third row down, you just have to pull the strap and it folds completely flat. No power seats here, but yeah, that's fine. This is much faster. Also, we have storage underneath the floor. So I guess, yeah, that's it from the exterior. Again, it still looks very fresh despite it being replaced soon. And yeah, very nice. Let's check out the interior now. And now we're inside the Nissan Patrol, and let's start it up first. So put your foot on the brake, press the start button, and the V8 engine comes to life. Very nice to hear. And of course, you saw that the steering wheel will adjust, the seat will adjust. I just put it in my settings. So we do have a memory function for the driver's seat and steering wheel. So let's talk about that more in just a bit. So anyway, the design here is a mix of new and old. So we still have lots of the design cues from over 10 years ago, but at the same time, let me just mute that. At the same time, it's also modernized from the last facelift again. So the right side, the left side of the dashboard looks very Arab with the aircon vent, which, you know, it reminds me of Dubai International Airport. So if you know how the windows there look, it's this one. And it's really appropriate with considering that the market of this car is really mainly focused on those people from that area of the world. And the center here, center stack, has been redesigned. It's very modern. So it's very different from the rest of the interior, which is, you know, just dates back from a really long time ago. Anyway, materials here also very nice. So we have some soft touch plastics on top of the dashboard, some leather here in the center. This side, of course, it's soft touch as well. And the door panel is a very nice leather here with some ripples here, which, you know, reminds me of a sofa. So everything feels so good here. Everything feels so high quality, just as you would expect from its price point and the market that this is targeting. So I really like everything here. Steering wheel is the same one from way back, so it's power adjustable, so power tilt and telescope. A bit slow, but this is very convenient, of course. And design, well, very old, but Nissan still uses this in their other products as well. Of course, the updated Nissan logo, some controls on the left for our audio, on the right for our Nissan Intelligent Mobility features, and our horn, a very, big car, big horn, so that's appropriate, unlike the Toyota Land Cruiser, which comes with a small horn. Anyway, so other stuff here, we have our 7-inch digital display in the middle with our 2 analog gauges, which, like I always mention in every Nissan Terra, Nissan Navara review that I make, this is my preferred setup for pretty much any car that has this kind of setup. That's very nice, very easy to read, very simple, and it's very easy to understand and control everything here. And of course, the details here that you see are pretty much the same as what you would see in any other car these days with digital display. So that's pretty much what you would find over there. And then here in the center, we have that updated infotainment system. So it's a 12.3-inch screen. And well, most of the stuff that you would find here only on the left side, which is, I'm assuming this is around 7 or 8 inches. So, but that's fine. It's the same system that basically you would find in any other Nissan vehicle, the Nissan Connect system. But this one is much better because it's more responsive, and you have this dial over here to control that in case you don't want to do, touchscreen. It's touchscreen and you can control here. Very simple. We have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. And this is paired with a 13 speaker Bose audio system, which does sound pretty good, although it is starting to show its age. And again, we can control it using here. We have the menu button, we have our 360 camera buttons over there, and we also have this knob in the middle and button, which it really helps in controlling. It's similar to what you would find in a Mazda vehicle these days. Then we also have here the volume knob, some buttons, tuning knob, and then moving down we have our aircon controls over here. So this is a tri-zone automatic climate control with the display in the middle. Very nice to use, very easy to understand as well. And yeah, of course, typical Nissan, it's very cold in here. Also, heating and ventilation for the front seats. And down here in this slot, we have a wireless phone charger, 12-watt power outlet, so it's hidden over there. We also have here 2 USB ports, USB A and C, and that's it for the center stack. And moving down to the center console, we have our 4x4 stuff over here. So we have sand, snow, on-road, and rock modes. We have our rear differential lock, and we have our, I believe this is the hill descent control button, yeah, and our stability control as well. Then you can choose here between 4 high and 4 low, or automatic all-wheel drive 4x4. And then other stuff here, we have our shifter here. It's kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. It's the same one you would find in the Nissan Terra, but that's fine, very traditional. We also have here our 2 cup holders, which are illuminated, by the way, and hidden in this cover as well. Again, that knob and buttons that I mentioned for the infotainment, and here a really big center armrest, which underneath has a big storage, or if you don't want to use the storage, you can use it as a cool box, so it can cool your drinks. You can hear it over there, very loud, very cold actually. And then before we head to the back, let's talk about these seats. So they're a bit flat, and I'm not surprised because this again is quite old, but still they are very comfortable. They're quite soft, and again, multiple power adjustments. We have our memory function again for the driver, and it just feels comfortable in general. And also the leather material used is pretty nice as well. And lastly, we have that power sunroof on top, so just open it up. It's very tiny actually. We have a huge car, but we have a very tiny sunroof, but that's fine. I don't mind. I'm okay as long as we have a sunroof, and I like that. Anyway, let's head to the back now. Now we're at the back seat of the Nissan Patrol, and I'd like to compare this with the Toyota Land Cruiser 200, the older one, because these seats are definitely much more comfortable. They're the same, pretty much flat, just like the ones in front, same material, which is nice. And compared to the Land Cruiser, again, well, pretty similar, but they just feel more comfortable in general. Space is also really nice back here. Thigh support's also good. So footroom's good. Knee room, very good. As you can see, I'm 5'8" and 7 inches in height. And headroom, also pretty good. Not affected by the sunroof since it's over here. It is where it goes into. And the stuff you would find here, it's pretty basic actually. So we only have our 2 USB-A ports down there. We have this control for the rear air conditioning vents, and we have those vents on the side, also some lights, and that's pretty much it. But there's some stuff here, like we can access the cool box from the back, so press the button and it opens up forward. And here we have a center armrest with 2 tiny cup holders, so you can probably only fit here your tiny fast food cups. But yeah, this works out, and yeah, that's it for the second row. And now we're in the third row, which some people will like to have in a big SUV. And here It's actually a three-seater. I just discovered that now actually. And well, it's gonna fit maybe 3 people of my size pretty well, though a bit tight. Smaller children will definitely be better, and smaller adults as well. And yes, you can see my legs are up high. You can adjust to, have a little bit more legroom. Footroom is fine actually. Headroom is also surprisingly good. Again, I'm 5 feet and 7 inches in height. And stuff you would find here, we have 2 cup holders, so 4 cup holders, 2 aircon vents, and that's it. So yeah, again, this is best reserved for smaller children and smaller adults. So again, 3-seater. The Land Cruiser is only 2-seater here at the back. And now we're driving the Nissan Patrol, and it's not my first time to drive this. Actually, I have driven this before, but not extensively. I just had it for a few days, like 4 days. This time, we are already ending our 1 week with this big SUV. And so far, what I have to say is that this is definitely more, driver friendly compared to the Toyota Land Cruiser. At least the 200. I haven't driven the 300, so the LC 200, I've driven that a lot. I've a lot of experience with that, and this one is definitely more driver friendly. So let's start with what powers this mammoth. So it's a 5.6 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. It's a mighty engine, very mighty engine that produces 405 horsepower and 560 newton meters of torque, mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission. And well, there's really nothing to complain about that engine except maybe fuel efficiency, if that matters to you, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. But so starting with the power, the torque, everything is very, there's more than you need actually. And it definitely feels so much better than something like a Toyota Land Cruiser. With that one only had 232 horsepower with the 4.5 diesel. This one has, again, 405, and you can really feel that difference. So the moment you put your foot down, whether you push it hard or not, it gives you loads of power, it gives you loads of torque, and the best part, it sounds amazing. So again, this is a gasoline engine, not a diesel, and it sounds pretty good. So now we're entering the highway, and this gives us the chance to do a bit of a pull, an acceleration pull. So let's just give a little bit of room, and let's go. So, well, there's a lot of cars, but anyway, again, power is pretty good. Let's do it now. And I don't know if you can hear it right now, but it definitely sounds amazing. So that's the best part about this engine. The sound, the power, torque, everything is so good. And like I mentioned again, this is much more driver friendly compared to your Toyota Land Cruiser. That's because it has a very, very light steering feel. So this is still a hydraulic power assisted steering. It's not electric power steering, but for some reason it is very light. So that makes it very, very easy to drive inside the city, even on the highway. It makes it a lot easier, so you don't feel as tired as you probably would have been if you had a much heavier steering. Although I have to say that thanks to this vehicle's larger size, larger dimensions, I do wish that it was a bit more weighted. So it just doesn't match how big this car is, so it doesn't match how light it is. But again, it is very helpful, so you just choose which you would prefer. And again, it makes it much easier to drive in tighter streets when you're maneuvering, parking, thanks to its very light feedback. But at least you do something, it does instantly respond, so there is no problem with that as well. And then when it comes to visibility, well, this is a huge SUV, so you can pretty much see everything all around you. And of course, you have large windows, large windshield, and all around, so it's all very, very good all around. So the large side mirrors as well, which gives you a very good view of the vehicles in your blind spots. We have blind spot monitoring as well, and it just really helps to again make this a very much easier SUV to drive despite its very large size. And also you sit up very high, which gives you a very commanding view of the road. Then when it comes to ride quality and range insulation, that's as you would expect from this kind of SUV. It is excellent. So road noise is on the quieter side despite the Bridgestone tires. Usually Bridgestone tires can get a bit loud, but this time it's very quiet. Also, the noise from outside is they barely get into the cabin, so the engine as well, it's very quiet. Again, there's gas, the Land Cruiser's diesel, and this one becomes very quiet as well thanks to the gasoline engine. And Nissan has done a very good job insulating engine noise from the cabin. Wind noise is a bit on the louder side right now because we are driving downhill at highway speed, so we're going 80 kilometers per hour right now. So, and it is a bit windy outside, but so that's a given. But in general, it is a very quiet place to be. And then we again have that 13 speaker Bose audio system I mentioned earlier, which makes it even better to be inside this cabin. And of course, ride quality is very excellent. So it takes up the bumps very well. It's very smooth. It's very, just a very good place to be in overall. So whether you're a driver or passenger, you're definitely going to be enjoying this. So as the driver, it's much easier to drive, and at the same time, it's more comfortable, so you get less tired. And as a passenger, it is very comfortable no matter where you sit inside this cabin. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone to drive me just yet, but I know for sure that this is a very good place to be a passenger in as well. Then when it comes to fuel economy, like I mentioned earlier, that is the only downside of the V8 engine, if it even matters to you. So in the city, I was able to achieve around, well, in heavy traffic conditions, 3 kilometers per liter at most. When it lightens up, it's about 5 kilometers per liter. So, well, those are expected numbers. But again, I don't think it should matter. On the highway, we were able to achieve as much as 10 kilometers per liter. In my first time driving this, I was able to achieve more, although it might have just been luck. So anyway, yeah, so if fuel economy matters, that's how much you can get in this Nissan Patrol. And then safety, this is fully equipped with advanced driver assist systems under Nissan Intelligent Mobility. So thankfully, we have adaptive cruise control. So other Nissan vehicles don't get that. So we have that here, and it works fine. Sometimes it does tend to brake a little late or accelerate too fast, but yeah, it works pretty fine. Then we have lane departure warning, which is the usual that you'd find in other Nissan products, blind spot monitoring again, and yeah, the usual Nissan Intelligent Mobility stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have lane keep assist yet because again, this is hydraulic power steering, not electric power steering. So perhaps in the new version that will come. And anyway, so we speak of the new version. Let's end this review by saying that the Nissan Patrol Y62, which this is called, still makes a lot of sense. So Nissan has done a lot over the past decade to keep it fresh, to keep it new, and they've really done a good job with that. And despite it coming already towards the end of its life, it's still a very, it still feels so good. It doesn't feel old at all. I mean, there are signs of its age, but you won't really feel it. And plus, it's more affordable compared to its main rival, which makes it a very compelling option. So again, only fuel economy is the downside. And well, also, if you do want a V8 engine, this is your last chance to get one. The fact that Nissan's still lending us this car means that they still have units of the old Nissan Patrol, and we do know that it will be coming soon, or the new Nissan Patrol will be coming soon, since they've already shown that at the recent Philippine International Motor Show from this year. So, well, at least we know what to expect, and if you still want this, now is your last chance to get one for sure, because you won't be making a wrong decision for sure as well.